What's up, y'all? It's Ty. In this video today, we're going to be going over talking about the MyTeam GOAT Festival in NBA 2K25 MyTeam, what it is, what it's ultimately going to look like, and a lot of people are confused on the exchange and whether these cards are, or whether these things are going to expire, whether they're not going to expire. And here is what I would say to that, okay? And this is just me. I don't see a timer for Brandon Roy, Michael Beasley, Andrei Kirilenko. But what I do see is you need Festival Week 1 specific event cards, right? And that's going to be what it is, okay? And so here's the deal. You have one day to figure out exactly what you want to get done with these event cards. In my opinion, I'm not 110% sure, but in my opinion, from everything I see, from this saying that this is available until July 4th, featuring the MyTeam GOAT Festival, which is AK B-Roy and Michael Beasley. I think there's going to be different cards coming tomorrow. There is no timer with this, but I do think that these things are gone, are not necessarily gone. I don't think they're necessarily going to disappear like the rest of these things, but I do think you're going to need those specific cards for this. So for example, for the Summer Festival, those cards didn't appear, but you couldn't use the other festival, right? You couldn't use, the whatever, Summer Festival or Splash. I don't even remember the festival names, but you had to use this specific festival cards on those specific cards. It's not like you could combine festival cards from different, festivals to get the specific cards. And so don't think, oh, well, week 2 MyTeam GOAT cards I'm going to be able to use to get Michael Beasley. You're not, right? You need specifically Festival Week 1 event GOAT cards. That's what you need specifically. And there is going to be a week 2 in which it's going to be a whole different type of set. And so again, I know a lot of people are confused on that because there aren't timers within this. It is something that in the past I've reached out to 2K about, like they've got to be better because it is confusing. But from everything I see and everything, that would make sense to me, I do think that these things are ultimately all in one day, basically going to be it, basically going to be done. And no, I don't see the AKs, the B's, the Brandon Roys going away necessarily. But if you can't earn the event cards in any way, what is really going to be the purpose for them? I mean, the only thing I could see is these things not going away. And then so maybe you could, grind these things out and then use these things on the cards. But that really would be the only thing that I see within this GOAT Festival. So if you are close to getting these guys, make sure you finish your grind. Make sure if you want, to open up packs for them. I don't recommend it, but you could obviously do that. Other than that, guys, you just got to find a good stopping point, a good point where you're like, you know what? I've got everything I've wanted done with this festival. There's nothing else for me to do. Now, again, for me, it's kind of difficult because I didn't play in King of the Court. So I was never going to be able to grind for any of the GOAT cards unless I really know-lifed the game, and I just didn't really feel like doing that. But then it comes down to, okay, I've got all of the 100 overall packs. What else is there really for me to do? And that's the tough part is I don't want Brandon Miller. I don't want Bill Walton. I don't want Alex R. I don't want Gary. I don't want B.I. And so I'm kind of in this in-between stage of there's really nothing for me to do. The only other thing that's maybe on my mind, but it would just be an incredibly long grind, is going to get Greg Popovich. But again, with all of my 100 overall cards, I don't really need another coach. And so that's kind of the other thing for me is it's like, I just kind of am in this no man's land of like, well, I don't really need any of these cards. And so what am I really meant to do with it? The other thing you guys could think about is, and I wouldn't necessarily, this isn't high on my agenda list, but what you could do is you could go get like a Brandon Ingram or a Gary Payton and then exchange them for legend badges. And again, this is like the last thing I would do, but it is something that kind of makes sense, right? Because if you do get an invincible card and a dark matter, you can get a pick 5 legend badge option pack. And for me, that's probably going to be the most worth it thing to do. And again, I know it sounds crazy that I'm going to exchange Gary Payton, for what it is, but I think that's probably the most worth it thing for me to do. I'm not going to use Gary Payton, but at the end of the day, I can use Gary Payton to go and in turn basically get some legend badges, because I think that's going to be the best thing for me to do, right? Is go get Gary Payton, use him to get the legend badges, and that's just another idea for you guys. But again, don't sit there and think, oh, well, I can just keep grinding this thing into week 2. That is not how this event works. I know 2K hasn't really talked about it specifically, and even their tweets haven't really said it. But it does basically say that that the GOAT Festival is live and that the festival does end this week. So I don't want you guys to get stuck in the process of thinking, oh, well, there's no timers on AK, on Beasley, on Brandon Roy, and I can just continue to grind for them. No. Again, it does end this week, so that is something to obviously keep in the back of your mind. And I'm not saying like that for sure. There's, you know, that I'm always right, and that, you know, there's not ever gonna. I'm not saying it's guaranteed, but from what I see, that's the approach that I would take. And so don't think, oh, well, you don't have to get these cards and you'll be able to get them eventually. No, it's just one of those things. Like if you're where I'm at with Gary Payton, you're going to want to finish it before doing anything else. So that's kind of my goal, to get Gary Payton and then get Brandon Ingram and just get some more legend badges. And I know you guys are probably like, Ty, that's boring. It is. I agree. But at the end of the day, with those legend badges, I can keep making my Ralph better. I can keep, you know, putting someone Braun, keep making my Wilt Chamberlain better, and just slightly improve my squad. That's really what I'm looking at with the event right now. But obviously, again, if you're to the point where you're trying to get Michael Beasley, Brandon Roy, those type of guys, last minute, again, I don't know at the time I'm recording this if they're going to put any more challenges in the game. But look, see, are they going to put any more challenges in the game or not? If not, continue to grind breakout triple threat. I've said it before and I'll say it again. This is by far and away your best method to getting wins fast, getting wins quickly. And I'll time this game, right? I'm starting at 6:40 when I went into the game for my recording point, and we're going to see exactly where and when this thing ends. But I'm telling you, this is going to be by far and away your best method to getting cards quickly, because in my opinion, I don't know for sure, but I think you should be able to get probably 20 golds within an hour. And so, like, again, if you're, let's say, I don't know, 3 pieces away from whatever card you want, whether it's Greg Popovich, even if you, let's say you want, you know, let's say last minute you want to grind for Gary Payton to get the legend badges, right? Just in case. And you've already done some of the other challenges. Well, guess what? Within, I don't know, couple hours, maybe 3 hours probably, you can go get Gary Payton, which in turn gets you 5 legend badges. Again, is it worth it? I think probably not. But some people probably are like, you know what, Ty? It's not the worst value in the game. And I honestly agree with that. I think there are definitely worse things that you can do with your time than grinding this type of thing out. So that's just something, again, that I would think about. But just make sure, the ultimate thing is be content with where you end, right? Like, don't be mad at having to spend a bunch of money to get Bs, because at the end of the day, that's what my team wants you to do. They want you to get close to getting like the Michael Beasleys of the world, and then just end up being a little short, and then going to open up packs, and then doing what doing those types of things. That's what I would recommend not doing, right? Like, don't open up packs just to get a couple of more event cards. Don't do that. Otherwise, again, it's just kind of a slippery slope, because you're basically gambling for 2K to give you good event cards. It's just not not a good situation, right, to put yourself into. So that's just kind of where I'm at and how I approach the event. Obviously, again, a lot of people approach the event differently, and that is okay to do. So basically, a minute and 30 into this thing, I've already got 12 points. So like I've said, I really think you can get through, 15, 20 games within 2 hours, or within an hour, I should say. Like, especially if you've got, a good team, good guys that can shoot the ball, you can get through games super, super, super quickly. So again, I'm obviously grinding this Cassie Russell, the Sean Marion challenge out. Obviously, you guys probably have your own challenges to grind out to finish up. But if you combine this, obviously, with your level 40 grind, obviously with any challenges, you're going to really notice your squad improve in a big time way. And again, at the end of it, whether you get legend badges, whether you're wanting a coach, whatever you're wanting, whether it is like a Brandon Roy, you can really level up your squad in a big time way. So it is definitely something that I would do today. Figure out exactly what you want to get done. These things, in my opinion, all expire. I know there's no timers on those specific things. I'm not saying they're going to expire from the exchange, but what I am saying is, as far as like the cards you need to get them, there's not going to be any other ways to earn those cards. It's a week 1 specific event card. So I don't want you guys thinking, oh, well, week 2 cards are going to work in there. Unless my team really changes the way it looks, I don't think that is ultimately going to be the case. I literally got through that game start to finish in 3 hours by the time, or 3 minutes. By the time you do the loading screens, it's probably like 3 minutes and 15 seconds. So you could probably get through, 18 games in an hour? And again, I missed some shots, stuff like that. But obviously, again, for me, I got to go into one more game and knock down some more threes, and I'll have these as well to add to the collection, as well as another GOAT card, and then going to get my legend badges. So don't let these things just expire. Go do what you need to do. For me, it's getting that legend badge and doing what I need to do. Let me know your thoughts on this down below in the comments, guys. Drop a like on the video, subscribe if you are new, and as always, man, I love you guys. Have a blessed day.